14 past. I'm Comedies Tend to be excited and delighted to be joined by the legendary one, Mark Rosen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, too. Yesterday, Tenneby and I were out. We were at Hazeltine National Golf Course in Chaska. We were there for Media Day for the LPGA KPMG PGA Championship. I was there. Tenneby was there. Mike Grimm was there. The Tasteless Box of Mashed Potato. Justin Gard was there. Tiny Joe Nelson was there. It was a wide variety. We played with Chris Long.
I heard that.
Over at, who's over at the Channel 5. And was disappointed you weren't there, but it was walking only with caddies. And right now, with your knee about to be replaced, you would not have been able to walk.
No, there's no way. I've had many of opportunity to play at Hazeltine, and I was just asking Tenna during the break about. Talked about the rough out there. I mean, it's, legendary golf course for so many reasons. We know what the majors have been out there in the Ryder Cup. And when you get a taste of it and understand what the difficulty of playing that golf course, but the scope of the magnitude of watching the best players in the world out there, it can be a long day. It can be. But it's challenging. It's fun. And, it's a great opportunity to get a chance to play. And, so the tournament's coming up when? It's
17th is the first day, right?
Okay, yeah. Well, good. And that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It will be. The best players.
I think the 17th is the first day, is it not? Or
it's a Wednesday.
No, I'm sorry, it wasn't. It's 17 days from now as of yesterday. That's what
okay.
So I don't know. I could look up.
Whatever.
We're going to be there. Maybe you'll come out there with us.
I don't think so. 17 days from now, I'll be recovering from. I have my knee replacement coming up.
Yeah, but we'll be able to. Someone will bring a cart out there and pull you up.
Okay.
No, you come out there. You'll get on property, and
who's going to drive me out there?
We'll find somebody. EMTs, the same ones that chase the bees.
The ambulance at TCO.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that'll be happening. It's going to be a little while before I'm able to do that. Good. That's good.
What did you make of last night's NBA game 3 last night? Won by the Spurs by 4, 115-111. They obviously, you get behind 3-0, you're really behind the 8 ball. So it was closest thing you can get to a must win, and they were able to win.
Well, playing off the theme of, there are not that many blocks from Broadway, it was pure theater for a lot of reasons, at Madison Square Garden, which is, we talk about venues, and right now, because of what's going on with the Chicago Bears, they're going to move to Hammond, Indiana. And, there's all sorts of teams that play not in their metropolitan area. We'll look at New York. They got the Yankees and they got the Mets out at Flushing Meadows. But the Giants and the Jets obviously play in New Jersey. We go through all the list of teams that play outside of the boundaries of their metropolitan area. Well, the Knicks and the Rangers are really the two main teams that occupy, in the central part of New York City. And for the Knicks to wait since 73, since their last title, and having this opportunity, and having that kind of aura, and the ticket prices, and everything going on last night, it was pure theater, is what it was, and I thoroughly enjoyed the game and everything about it. I, like you, we've made it very clear on this show that we want Cat to win the championship, but I found myself last night, I think, like you, wanting to see a series, and I don't want this to just end abruptly, and so found myself, rooting interest, you want to call it that, for the Spurs, and appreciating what Wemby's doing, and what the team showed a lot of grit coming back in the third quarter. And I thought San Antonio's defense in the fourth quarter was magnificent against, I'm saying they wore down Brunson, but they made it really difficult for him when he's at his best in the fourth quarter, and they made other people try to beat you. I kept looking up, and the shot clock's going down 4, 3, 2, and they, sometimes they converted, but a lot of times they did not. So, kudos. It was a very physical game. I know Mike Brown, the head coach, wasn't happy with the difference in foul shooting in the fourth quarter in particular. Brunson made zero excuses about it. That's game. That's the game. And we heard Shaq and, Wemby pushing Brunson. It's physical. That's nothing compared to what it used to be like, but, this is what you talk about during the regular season. It's like, no, they don't play defense in the regular. Well, you sure as hell watched it last night. Again, at that level. So, a great game. I still think the Knicks are going to win this series.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I think, tomorrow night will be, Cat was rather passive. I don't know.
Very much so. After two really good games, his first two games. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't say he was the MVP of the first two games. He was darn close because he at least put up some real resistance to Wembanyama and took him out of his game, particularly in game two. He was really effective there. And but last night, you look at those numbers from Wembanyama, 32 points. I don't recall how many boards. I don't have the list in front of me, his boards, his assists, his rebounds, but block shots. But it was all right. It was a terrific line, and he had a lot of help. The Castle kid was really good last night. He was rookie of the year last year. They've got Champagny. Champagne,
Harper,
the whole list of Vassell, Castle, Rassel, Passelt, they're all there. That's a really good young team, and they can come at you in waves. And it was.
What's surprising about Cat, because I think we've seen the best of Carl the first two games of the series, and last night he only took 2 3-point shots and he was 0 for 2. And I think you're going to see a much different Karl Anthony Towns tomorrow night, much more aggressive. I'm sure he took it to heart. Was frustrated about a lot of things. Wasn't involved that much in the offense, and that was pretty surprising. And they still, had a chance to win the game. But I think you'll see the pendulum swing back a little bit tomorrow night. San Antonio,
You think?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I mean, I think that's to me tomorrow night's the game. Tomorrow night is maybe the series. I mean, in terms of although we haven't seen the home team win yet, so it's a little hard to say that, but I think you'll see a much more engaged Karl Anthony Towns tomorrow night. And it's not to suggest that the Spurs aren't going to go, we're satisfied with winning a game. Why would they be satisfied if they lose the game tomorrow night? They're down 3-1. I mean, they got to go back to San Antonio where they haven't won a game yet against the Knicks. So, no, I think that's going to be the game of the series tomorrow night.
He did it. Wembanyama did it again last night. He does it several times a game. But there was one first half, it was really striking the way there were 2 or 3 different players touched the ball for the Knickerbockers and wanted to go to the basket and just couldn't because there he is. He's standing right there and it's like, well, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not going there. He has, to this point in the postseason, I think the number is 70 blocked shots already in postseason. Now, that's 4 series. 70 blocked shots, that's the most at this point in a finals, or maybe I don't know the exact number. It's 2003, and Tim Duncan was the last person to have that many blocks at this stage of a postseason play. So he just changes everything offensively and defensively.
Well, just to echo that point, just to understand the mindset of a team like the Knicks, even last night, when they're thinking about going in the lane, and you have to figure out how am I going to release this shot and get it over his. I don't know what his wingspan is at that point when he's 7'4".
It's Megatron like and more. Yeah, remember Megatron? They would always do every time they do a jury, they'd have his arms on him. It was seriously like the size of a barn. And Wembanyama's even more than that.
I've seen practices when college teams or pro teams, they have the equipment guy hold up a big a yardstick or something to try to duplicate what the opposing center is going to be like. And I don't know how you do that with Wemby. I mean, he's just, and the guys drive the lane. You go, he's not going to try to take that shot. And even if they try the shot, more times than not, it's not the right arc that they're normally used to. So it bounces off the rim, and he gets the rebound. He was definitely engaged last night. It was fun to watch, but the whole game was, and this has been a great series. Back and forth, and I think, again, like I said, I think tomorrow night's going to be the one where you're going to have the response now by the Knicks. I think they'll be settled down a lot more after all the hype last night of coming back to New York and trying to take that 3-0 series lead.
I'll push back a little bit on the hype because it's like they took the lead. They had a 5-point. I don't think that they
had a 7-point lead at halftime.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I don't believe that it was like, boy, that we were really kind of out of sorts because of it. I just think San Antonio, in the situation that they were, they just said, we've got to come. Everybody knew it. We're going to come out and we're going to put together, we're going to play fast, we're going to play hard, we're going to focus because we've got to get out in front of these guys right away because we don't want the Knickerbockers to get a big lead. Crowd gets behind them in this. And so they played their best basketball, and New York weathered that storm. They were down by many as 12, 14 points in the first half, and it took them until...
Well, at halftime they had the lead.
Yeah, they had the lead at halftime, and then they lost the lead, and then they they got it back somewhere in the second half, but then they frittered it away again.
Well, I mean, I don't know. When I say the hype, I just think that, it's like, great tennis match. It's back and forth. And, I'm not saying psychologically the Knicks are going to have a huge advantage tomorrow. I just feel like they're going to play. I mentioned Karl Anthony Towns, perfect example, who's been so active and so involved, throwing the ball. And he also got in foul trouble last night. He had 4 fouls pretty early, and that hurt them and hurt him because even though he played 38 minutes, it didn't seem like he was really ever involved with their offense like we've seen him. So I think we'll see it, and you can't rely on Brunson. Brunson scored 32 points, but didn't seem like he was in control of the game. And at the end, the Spurs, kudos to them. I think they just wore him down a little bit. Their defense was outstanding.
Let's take a break, come back. More to get to with the legendary one, Mark Rosen, along with Common and Teneby. All right, here on the Fan, Teneby, you got a keyword, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. The Fan has your chance to win $2,500. Just enter the keyword America at KFAN.com now. That's keyword is America. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
He's Minnesota's sports media patriarch. It's Mark Rosen.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's Teneby. Mark Rosen here as well. Dateline New York. What began as a calm yet spirited gathering of New York Knicks fans on the manicured lawn of Bryant Park quickly turned chaotic Monday night with more than 20 people taken into custody, 5 NYPD officers injured, and video footage showing people in San Antonio Spurs attire being verbally and physically harassed. There were an estimated 7,000 people in the vicinity of Bryant Park after the Knicks lost to the Spurs. When a large crowd of people took over 42nd Street and refused to disperse, according to a police spokesperson. New Yorkers are understandably passionate about the Knicks, and the overwhelming majority of fans watched the game last night in ways that were both safe and fun. But the fights and other disruptive incidents, including assaults on police officers in various parts of the city, are unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Boy, what a bunch of great people in New York. What a bunch of great fans.
Come on, it's not just New York. How many times have we seen it in pretty much every city in the country
really?
Celebrate? I mean,
Philadelphia, New York, but I don't see it happen in Minneapolis.
You don't remember the riots they had in Dinkytown when the Gophers won the NCAA hockey championships?
They assaulted police officers?
They assaulted other people.
Did they?
And they damaged lots of property damage.
Really?
Yes. Oh, my God. It was a big story. Yes. I mean, and I would suggest, I remember talking about it going, I bet none of the people I'm just talking about the Dinkytown one, or maybe even what happened last night. I would venture to guess that most of those people never watched a basketball game, have never, they were probably obviously aware that the Knicks lost, but they gathered because, hey, this looks like a good place to,
create
cause trouble. And that's what happened. I remember the Dinkytown riots, or whatever you want to call them. And yes, there was a lot of damage.
I don't remember that.
Oh, my. And it was like, I remember talking about it on there going, these kids who are causing all the problems are sitting on their couch. Their buddies call them and probably say, hey, did you see the Gophers won the National Hockey Championship? And they go, oh, they played tonight? Okay, let's go down there. Let's go burn a couch. And I'm not saying they were attacking other people, but it was difficult. And we've seen it, cars overturned. I mean, I'm not saying every single time, but it happens, unfortunately, a lot. And I would say most of the perpetrators are people who are not basketball fans, are not hockey fans, are not sports fans, or just people who like to cause trouble. And it gives them a built-in excuse to cause mayhem and cause destruction and hurt other people. That's my take on most of the sports riots, using that term, that we've seen over the years, and there have been a lot of them. You can't single out one city or one incident or one sport. It happens, too often.
I thought we didn't do that here.
Oh, well,
I thought we were Minnesota nice.
Yeah, right. Nice try. We haven't had a lot to celebrate, so let's put it that way. We haven't had an opportunity that often. But no, I do remember one in particular. I was the second national championship they won. I was actually in Buffalo. Excuse me, covering the game. I think Thomas Vanek scored the game-winning goal for the Gophers. I remember hearing, and through my earpiece, and I was seeing, the video, and that's when I think, oh, here we go again. They won their second straight national championship, and now the kids are out in Dinkytown causing hell.
Well, I guess I missed that or just forgot about it. Maybe I wanted to forget about it. Maybe I wanted to sweep it under the rug.
Well, it happens.
I didn't want it to be like
it's not
all those other East Coast cities.
It's not just East Coast. That's what I'm saying. It's not good.
When San Antonio won last year, did they burn San Antonio to the ground? Or may not. Oklahoma City. I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't
remember hearing any.
Probably, maybe not, because it doesn't happen every time. I'm just saying that, you got 6 million people out there. There's a bunch of them that want to cause problems. For any excuse, that's all. And wearing a Spurs jersey, come on. I mean, I was in Philadelphia. You're right. When the Vikings lost the NFC Championship game, they were very close to winning it. I know you know that.
Well, they were only.
But I don't even have to go through it. I was at the airport because we got stowed in. That's when I started hearing all the stories and heard from a lot of people about how the Viking fans were physically accosted and women and what they had to put up with. And it wasn't like the Vikings won. Much different than last night where the Spurs, they won a game. They didn't win the series, but the Vikings got throttled and the fans are still, beating up and accosting women and doing all this crap out there. And again, you can't paint a broad brush, although Philadelphia does get that reputation and sometimes well-deserved. That's why, they had a jail in their old stadium, Veteran Stadium. They literally had a jail there that they put people in because it was so rowdy.
Twins Parade in '87 got wild. Did we burn cars and turn them over in '87?
I don't know. I remember I was right in the middle of the parade. I remember covering it, but I don't remember anything specifically. I'm sure after they won the game, I remember in '91 more than '87, because I was walking down. I had my bar at the time, and I walked all the way down. And people were celebrating. They were climbing up the light poles on 5th, in Chicago, right in front of the
Why is climbing up a light pole so much fun for a celebration? What's wrong with people?
A lot, but that's okay. When you're 19, 18 years old and you think you're powerful. And it's
you just go, you know what? I want to climb to the top of that light post because we won a game. We won a world championship. It's crazy.
Look at all the crazy stuff you did when you were a kid. But I don't know. I mean, it's not, it happens, unfortunately, in a lot of cities.
Rosen is such a Big Apple apologist. He had to go back 23 years to find a local example. Sad, really. Well, it's been 23 years since we won anything.
Well, when was the last time we won anything?
Yeah.
The Lynx. But I don't think the Lynx rioted.
Oh, I heard about it.
Yeah, maybe they...
Didn't you hear it?
I did not. What happened?
Looted the dress barn.
I didn't hear you say that. Hey, speaking of the Lynx, they got a huge game tonight.
Why would I say something like that?
That's rather chauvinistic.
Yeah.
They play Paige Beckers, and it's the number 1, number 2 draft picks tonight. Fudd against Olivia Miles, who's named WNBA Player of the Week, who Cheryl Reeves already called a generational player. And
who? Is she calling her a generational player?
Olivia Miles.
Oh, okay.
Our number 1 draft pick, number 2 overall. So number 1 against number 2.
Now now let me just say this.
Go ahead.
That's saying a lot because she's only played like 8 pro games.
I know, but she's that good. I mean, of all players, and we've watched championship after championship with the Lynx, and Lindsay Whalen, we watched her from the university to win championships coming back here for Minnesota. Miles does things that Lindsay Whalen couldn't even do. And I think Lindsay would probably be the first to admit that. I'm not putting words in her mouth because Lindsay was a phenomenal player. But the vision that Olivia has on the court and her shooting ability and her ability, and wait till Nafisa comes back, hopefully in a couple of weeks. My goodness, they struck gold with her, and I think her and Cheryl got a great relationship. So that's a big game there with Paige Beckers here, and is it Aziz? Is that how we pronounce her name? Fudd.
You tell me. You're the pronunciation.
Yeah,
king.
I don't know, but no, I'm not. But anyway, it's a big game tonight, if you want to call it that. And they've been playing awfully well. The Lynx are in first place.
I should just leave the personnel decisions to Cheryl Reeves because I wanted them to draft
the center.
Yeah, from UCLA, Lauren Betts.
Wonder how she's doing.
I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, I watched. Yeah, she's. Yeah, I think Cheryl knows a little bit more.
Lauren Betts. Yeah. Lauren Betts. Stats.
Yeah.
5.8 points per game, 2.7 rebounds.
Oh, boy. Not dominating.
I wouldn't say.
No. Olivia's already. She just makes.
This could be the call I've been waiting my entire life for.
Well, you may want to answer it. Masters are over.
It's not.
No, it's not. That's the way it goes. Oh, just.
It's not the call I've been waiting for.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see how that works. This one says, not so much the parade, talking about 87.
Right.
But I was in the middle of both Game 7 nights, and the punks and losers descended on downtown to do damage, and they were not baseball fans.
No, that's just it. They're aware that it happened, and they want to be in the action, and they have a built-in excuse to act like donkeys. I was going to use another word, but asses.
Well, when property damage, especially when you're overturning cars, and then when you're assaulting police officers, I have no sympathy for any of those people.
No, none. They should all. And I saw a couple scenes where they arrested a guy who was pummeling a Spurs fan on the ground, and they took him down in a hurry, and rightfully so. But it's just, I don't know, head shaking, but, where we are in our world.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. One more segment to go, and a number of topics I want to bounce off Mark Rosen. We'll do that next. It's the Common Man program with Rosie, Teneby, and Common here on The Fan.
You're listening.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He is Teneby. Mark Rosen here as well. It's mandatory Otis today. Is that what that is?
Mandatory, yes, mandatory.
So you've got to be there, and if you're not there, there will be fines and suspensions. And there was Kyler Murray met with the media to some Q&A, and you just stumbled across a quote of some sort?
We're used to kind of having the bland sort of responses or the company line. Murray did not, and I think Tenna has the soundbite, and he was asked. I'll set it up. Do you have it, Tenna?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, he was asked on the toughest part of adjusting to Minnesota's offense, and here's what he had to say.
The toughest part, as far as what you get from Cardinals to your offense.
I think the toughest part is, again, I was there for 7 years. I know I had two different, offensive systems, but at the same time, you're getting all those reps. Now having to split reps, it's me already being behind, not getting the amount of reps that you would typically want a guy to get learning an offense. That's probably the toughest part. Just again going back to the past, being in control of everything, understanding what we were already doing because I was comfortable within the system. Now coming into the new system, learning on the fly, trying to play fast, efficient, and let it loose while learning is that's the toughest part.
So there's interesting soundbite. So I guess he's not real happy anytime J.J. McCarthy or Cousins.
Well, I don't think I know. You're trying to stir the pot.
I am.
All he's saying is this is more difficult. When he was the starter there, he was the starter. He got all the reps all the time. Now he's doing half, and he's trying to learn more. Just talking about how difficult it is. I don't think
he's not taking shots at J.J. McCarthy, but I think he just wants. I don't think he's ignoring. You can stay after school, and you can obviously get more, but. Yeah, listen, this is.
Think about Mark Rosen's trying to make he's trying to
stir the pot.
Trying to prop up a sagging rating.
Yeah, you're trying to.
I'm really not.
Trying to create some type, try to put a wedge between the two players.
Me already being behind.
Well, because he hasn't been with. He's behind because he's never been with this team before.
And he has to split reps. So this is the reality of a quarterback competition. I understand that. And it's June.
It's funny you would try to stir things up between.
Yeah, I don't know where I learned that.
I don't know why.
I'm not really trying to stir anything up. I'm just trying to acknowledge. Here's the soundbite, and it sounds like when you say me already being behind, not getting the amount of reps you would typically want a guy to have. So I don't know. I mean, no, I don't think it's a deep dive into I'm dissatisfied with the amount of reps I'm getting. It's only June. He's got plenty of time to get all the reps he's going to need before he starts against the Packers.
You're like
on September 13th.
All those media jackals. You like the controversy and the negativity. Is what you like. You're trying to stir it up.
I learned from the master.
Not me. I just
like to lay back in the weeds.
No, but I just let the chips fall where they may.
Well, they will.
Not in you're me.
No, I just thought it was interesting that what he had to say. Me already being behind, not getting the amount of reps you would typically want a guy to get to learning the offense. That's all it is.
This guy says that guy sounds like an alpha QB1, and that's what we so sorely need.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. He is going to be the QB1, I think, at the start of the season, until he misses a few games because he's going to get nicked up, which is kind of his history. But
the quarterback gets nicked up too. McCarthy's got a history of getting nicked up.
Yeah, well, short history, but yeah, it's a history. Yeah, that's all he has.
Concussion. Yeah. What was it? Ankle, wrist. I don't remember what it all was.
Then a combination.
Yeah.
But the Vikings are already in season, so there you go.
McCarron signs a 6-year extension. You like this Wild Club, don't you?
Well, I'd like him a lot more if they can make a deal or two here. But listen, it's a nice signing. Good for him. He cashed in a little bit, and he's a guy that helps the team, but it's not going to.
Your sights are on
headlines.
Your sights are on the Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin.
Right? Yeah. Well, I think
he released. He said he released. There's 3 teams I'd be traded to: the Knights, the Wild, and who was the third team? Tell me, Knights, Wild,
Florida,
and Florida.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably got Billy Guerin. That probably.
He's putting together the best possible deal without giving away the farm.
I would hope so.
Well, I mean, and by the way, the Stanley Cup Final is still going on. It's been very captivating, even though the broader interest. You go, Carolina against Vegas. It's been very captivating hockey, and they got another one tonight. So,
will you be watching tonight?
Yeah, I'll watch. I'll definitely. I'm going to be home. I think my son's coming over, but I'll probably flip around and watch a little bit of the Lynx game. And
I think I'm going to watch a regular show tonight.
Yeah, I watched enough basketball last night, but yeah, I mean it's never a lacking. This is supposedly the slower time of the year, but once the NHL, if they ever end between the Stanley Cup and the NBA finals, and then you go, World Cup soccer. The U.S. plays its first match on Friday night. I don't think they're going to. Well, I mean, they're not going to fare very well. They're not. They might win a game.
You can hear all sorts of World Cup action on the Fan and the Fan Plus. We have all sorts of it.
I know.
We're big soccer fans here at iHeart Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Abbott,
I'll be watching a lot.
Abbott's got games scheduled all over the place. He's into it. I didn't know he was a soccer guy.
I didn't realize.
I thought he was more of a lacrosse guy, but I think he's really into soccer now.
I don't know it's a rhetorical question, how much soccer translates to radio. I just don't see it.
I think it's a great decision by iHeart to run all those games.
Oh man!
Here's one. Wonder how Mark felt about splitting reps with Mike Max.
I had no problem with it. Well, first of all, you have a schedule.
Murray, not funny.
Splitting reps with Mike Max. I had a regular schedule.
All right. Was just wondering. People are just wondering.
Are they?
They're listening to you, Mark. They don't want to.
I didn't say anything. I just said this was what Kyler Murray had to say today. I didn't offer anything else about it. He's just saying, I'm used to doing this. That's all I did was report what he had to say, and we just listened to him.
You tried to make
You made it seem like he was upset about it.
Yes, that's what you.
No, I did not say that. I just said that this is. I mean,
you said there's some interesting quotes. We got to find it.
Well, they are interesting. I mean, you're bored with everything.
No, I just don't think. I think
Danny Campbell is talking about pajama parties, and it's all.
Well, that's a funny joke. That's fun. Talk about you were trying to create a controversy that's not there.
I think Kyler Murray was the one who talked about it. Like, I want to get more reps.
Do you think Rosen was trying to?
Not at all.
Start a controversy there?
Yes. He made it seem like Kyler was upset about it.
Yeah, I'm a JJ guy. You know that. I love JJ McCarthy.
I know you do.
Yeah. And I'm not an anti-Kyler guy. I just think that Vikings have put themselves, because of what didn't happen a year ago, in an interesting position, because if Kyler has a phenomenal year, what are they going to do? Sign him to another $30 million contract? And what are they going to do with JJ? Trade him at that point?
No, if Darnold has a really good year and gets us to the playoffs, we'll let him walk as a free agent. He'll go win a big game somewhere else like Sam Darnold. That's what we do in this town. This one says, does Michelin Mark have any good fall, autumn recipes he's working on? In 13 days, we begin the march into fall, maybe something pumpkin-based.
Well, I'm going to be working on it with all the time off I'm going to be forced to have. Working on some new recipes, but
are you?
I hope to. Yeah, I'm mostly.
You're rattling those pots and pans.
I'm just a guy. I just like to throw things on the grill and spice them up a little bit. That's kind of where that's where my wheelhouse is. I'm not. I'd have to learn a lot. I'm not. I don't want to overstate it. You make it sound like I'm going to be Chef Boyardee or something here, but no. I'm trying to enjoy it the best I can.
Here's an interesting, this one says, Murray is just trying to lay the groundwork for his inability to learn the offense. Could that be it? See, there's your controversy. See, that's what I would read into it.
He's playing video games.
I don't get enough opportunity to get enough reps. I can't really figure out the offense. So then when he throws 3 picks in the season opener, he goes, I didn't have a chance to learn the offense. Already making excuses for poor performances.
We already played the Justin Jefferson soundbite from PA's show, right? We talked about, Kyler he knows how to throw the ball before I break out of my route. So, it's not like he's behind. It's not like he's, the toughest part is getting enough reps. It's the first.
Well, what he can do is, and this is a novel concept in this town of recent vintage, he can actually throw as the receiver's breaking into his route.
What?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Well,
since Dante Culpepper.
So we got that going for it. Well, since Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sam. Well, he had his moments, that's for sure.
He sure did.
He sure did.
Well, he took us to the playoffs. He was 14-3 his first year with us. Then it wasn't enough for us. It wasn't enough. Nope. Hit the ceiling there. Yeah, that's it.
Well,
and then he goes on and wins. Then think about this. He leaves and goes and wins a world title.
Yeah.
We give up on a big ticket. He goes out and wins a world title.
I give up on big ticket.
Then we gave up on Big Pappy, and he goes out and wins a world title.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do here. That's what Minnesota does.
We just give up on players.
We give up on players.
We gave up on Fran Tarkenton, and he won a world title. Okay, he didn't win a world title, but he went to the Giants, and he did come back.
He came back, yeah.
He was prodigal son-like.
He got to the couple Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls here after going to New York and coming back to Minnesota.
You remember who he got traded for when he came back here?
I do not. I'm trying to think of
wide receiver. Wasn't it Tucker? Wasn't that the guy's name?
Bob Tucker?
Wasn't it Bob Tucker?
He was a tight end.
Oh
no, I don't. I'd have to look that up.
Maybe it was Bob Trumpy. No, that wouldn't be him either.
Well, they got Bob Grimm was a wide receiver. I think they got from the Giants along with Francis.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
But I don't remember what the trade was. He just couldn't stand Van Brocklin, so he had to get out of Dodge. He had to get out of Minnesota.
What was his problem with Van Brocklin?
Van Brocklin was a complete, utter racist bleep hole.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, God. The late, great Jim Marshall told me stories about Van Brocklin that would,
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Van Brocklin didn't get along with too many people. Great quarterback back in his day. First Vikings head coach. Not a nice human being. Not that you have to be a nice human being to be a good football coach, but he was not he was not a good person. Let's leave it at that, according to people I trust. Yeah. And Fran and him just didn't see eye to eye about anything, so.
Well, I had no idea.
I heard the stories from the great captain of the Vikings, so that was enough.
The Minnesota Vikings reacquired quarterback Fran Tarkenton from the New York Football Giants on January 20th of 1972. To complete this trade, the Vikings sent 5 assets to the Giants. Norm Snead.
Oh, my goodness.
Bob Grimm.
Yeah, Bob Grimm.
Vince Clements. Remember Vince?
Barely. I know the name, but I don't remember.
What position did he play?
I don't know.
Do you remember the name Harry Jacobson?
No.
It was actually Larry.
Oh, no.
He was a defensive lineman selected with the Vikings 1972 first-round draft pick.
Oh, goodness.
I remember him well.
I'm sure you do. I've never heard of him.
Meat Sauce knows him real well, too, because he loves the draft. And then you remember Brad Van Pelt?
Yes.
Linebacker selected with the Vikings, 1973, second-round draft pick. This was a Herschel Walker-like trade, but we benefited more than the Giants.
No, he definitely did. Yeah, they didn't get Norm Snead was a journeyman quarterback. I mean, he had his moments, but getting Fran back at that point with Bud coming back, Bud getting the head coaching job was Fran turned into a Hall of Fame quarterback here. Started he didn't even start the first game. Mason started. George Mason, his name? George Shaw started the first game. George Shaw, and then that's when Van Brocklin turned to Fran and said, "Get warmed up, kid. You're going in." And he led the Vikings to a huge, one of the biggest upsets in NFL history over the Chicago Bears. Back first game of the season, the Bears were,
one of the biggest upsets.
It was at the time. The Vikings were an expansion team, and the Bears were the Bears with George Papa Hallis and that team, and the Vikings beat them like 37-13 at Met Stadium. Yeah, that was the Vikings. I think only won 3 games that year, and that was one of them.
In 1961,
you looking it up?
Was it one of the
Fran called it that
biggest? Now you're throwing out upsets of all time. Let's see what.
I wonder what they must have been like 17-point underdogs.
Yes. That September 17th, 1961 match was one of the biggest upsets in NFL history.
There you go.
I just didn't believe it. Well, because you're prone to exaggeration.
I've had my moments. I've had my moments on this show.
I mean, you just now tried to say that Kyler Murray basically said, why is the other guy even getting snaps at all?
Never said that at all. I just said...
It sounds like Kyler demanded a trade.
Yeah, the way you were talking, it sounded like...
Okay, you know what? From now on, I'll let Tenna do the producing. I'll say, here's an interesting soundbite. That's all I said. I didn't say, oh, my God, Kyler Murray's pissed off at J.J. McCarthy because he's getting some reps. That was the tone of your voice. Wasn't at all.
Was it?
I'm trying to produce your show a little bit instead of just hearing the same stuff over and over and over again.
Remember, we didn't need Rich Gannon either. We let Rich Gannon go. What does he do? Now, he didn't win a big game, but he won the league MVP and got to the big game.
He did. We've had a lot of them here. We've had goaltenders. Isn't Manny Fernandez, Tenna? I don't remember if you know the story. What happened with, did he win I don't think he won a cup, but.
Fernandez?
Yeah.
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Rolly the goalie took Edmonton to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay. Rolly the goalie.
But they lost.
Did. Yeah. I was thinking of someone else.
Think about what Rosen has done since he's been on the air today. He ripped Kyle Murphy for being honest. He then predicted Kyle would get injured. Then he ripped Abbott for putting U.S. national team World Cup games on the radio. Why is he so negative, and why does he hate America?
Guy.
How did you know? Why do you hate America?
Why do I hate America? What does that have to do with anything?
We didn't need Brad Johnson either. Let him go too. Well, your favorite?
Well, I mean, as far as a person goes, I love Brad and his family. Yeah, he did okay. Did he win a big game?
I think he won one with Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Yep. There's another one. Well, Brad got hurt, and a guy named Randall Cunningham took over in '98. That was the end of that. Ripping Abbott for carrying soccer.
Well, you did. You ripped him for carrying soccer.
Again, it was like an inquisitive.
You basically were.
No.
You were negative toward you. Ripped the United States soccer team. No, you're anti-American.
I'm not ripping him. I'm being. Do you want me to be all ducky and bunny about him, saying, "Oh, I think the U.S. is going to win the war"? They're not good enough to.
Do you believe in miracles?
I was there for that.
Well, then how do you know this won't be a miracle in World Cup soccer?
I'll take my chances, and I hope I'm wrong. The U.S. is not in the same category as France, Spain, Argentina. I mean, go through most of the countries. That's their sport.
Somebody said, spitting on a man's grave. I hope you're right, Rosen. Well, I just looked it up. It says, yes, Norm Van Brocklin had a widely documented reputation for using racial slurs and exhibiting racist behavior during his entire coaching career.
Well,
so you were right. But this guy was saying, boy, you better be sure you're right. But that's what it says. Multiple sources, including Hall of Famer Deacon Jones in his autobiography, Head Slap, recount Van Brocklin using the N-word and other derogatory language in reference to black players. Yep. During his tenure as head coach of the Falcons, several players, such as offensive tackle Doug France, publicly cited racist conditions on the team.
Again, I was quoting my dear late great friend Jim Marshall, who told me about it, and that's all because Van Brocklin was the coach. They were training. The training camp was up in Bemidji.
I was not aware of it.
Well, you wouldn't have been. A lot of people aren't. I'm just. I didn't. I mean, it's part of when you talk about Van Brocklin's history here and the problems he had with a lot of players and management, et cetera, et cetera. That was one of the things that was probably behind closed doors. Probably wasn't alone. I remember I have a lot of stories about, and Gene Washington is still with us and talked about the fact when he drafted by the Vikings and he was part of that great Michigan State team, came here and he was denied an opportunity to stay get an apartment over in Bloomington because the manager thought, I'm not going to rent to a black guy. And the guy from the apartment building came down, recognized Gene. Oh, Gene Washington, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm looking for an apartment, but apparently you don't have one. He goes, what are you talking about? Yeah, we do.
Huh.
And then they rented to Gene. I don't know if they left at that point because he was so mad, but Gene is still, I see Gene once in a while. Where do I see him? At Kowalski's.
Well, you practically live there. Why would you see a lot of people there? Anybody that goes there, you're there all the time.
That's very much a true story. Yeah.
We let Tony Dungy go. He won a world championship.
Well,
we let Brian Billick go.
Well, Billick.
Well, were they not in these in the Vikings organization? Yeah. They went on to win world championships.
Yeah. Billick had his papers signed right when the Vikings lost that game to Atlanta. He was standing. I don't have to go through that whole story again. Standing in the middle of the locker room, answering questions about going to Baltimore, being the head coach.
Rosen hasn't been this negative since he came in tearing that poor couple's wedding to shreds. Remember when you're ripping that wedding?